Welcome back to a Niger Man's Perspective. Today I'm going to be reacting to the news that Africa's richest man, Aliko Dangote, offers to sell the Dangote refinery to NNPCL. There's been news over the last couple of days about the Dangote refinery not being licensed, him trying to sell or him offering the refinery to NNPCL, and so many other news. I'm just going to react to this journalist hangout session on TVCNews. I'll just play the video, we'll watch it together, and I'll give my closing thoughts towards the end. Let's get into it.
Yes, we're still discussing the very crucial topic regarding the Dangote refinery and the federal government's quite heated here, I would say, in the studio. But Mayor, let's have your perspective on this. I know we're talking about the ease of doing business. This is more or less affecting Dangote. Now, what kind of policies should be in place to ensure that Dangote refinery really kicks off?
Thank you very much for that question. The president of this country has gone to several countries to meet with investors in those countries. I remember when he met with some Indian businessmen, and he told them, he went with his ministers, and he said, if you have any problem, get in touch with me. I will solve that problem. If we spend energy, if the president of the country can appreciate foreign investment, and he will now go to them and market his country to them to say, come and do business in my country. If you have any problem, get in touch with me. The minister is there. You guys should go and work it out and all that. If you tell them to come and invest money, and somebody who is your citizen invested over $20 billion and you are frustrating him, why should I bring my money to come and invest in your country?
Yes.
It's one of the ease of business.
So yeah, I mean, it makes an excellent point. So as we know, we live in a global village, and yes, people will look inward to say, okay, if you're frustrating businessmen in your country, why should we bring our dollars to Nigeria to invest? If the cost of doing business and the environment that surrounds doing business is very vitriolic and very difficult, why should we come? It's an excellent question. Let's keep watching.
This is that government is a continuum. If there are policies, you don't come around and do flip-flop and try to frustrate the person doing that, especially the quantum of what we are talking about. Like I said, this man could put this kind of investment in stocks, and he will be chairman of several companies. He can put that thing in foreign, say, in foreign company and be enjoying himself all over the place. Dangote is in the late 60s. You understand what I'm saying?
67.
67. In 3 years, he will be 70. What's he looking for? So the investment is not.
I don't agree with that, too. I don't agree with I agree with 67, 3 years to 70, but I don't agree with what's he looking for. Let's keep watching. I don't agree with that. Let's keep watching.
Even for him or his kids.
Yes.
It's for the country. Because the quantum of investment, over $20 billion. To give the man his flowers. And when they want to criticize him, they will say, oh, he's doing monopoly. Yeah. Did he ask anybody not to come into that business? He did not ask people not to come into the business, because we have seen that those who are running.
But that's not how monopolies work. Monopolies work with influence. So you saying that did he ask anybody not to come into the business? By virtue of having a monopoly, you have an undue and an unfair advantage that it's not that people can't come in. They will just see that there are forces that stop them from competing with you. But let him keep talking. Keep talking, sir.
Refineries in this country have shown that they are incompetent, and because of greed and the money they are making, they've turned it to one big scam, and they will not be able to do. I told you now that they sold Obasanjo. Imagine Obasanjo's time. That refinery. They said no. You can't say your national asset. Okay, Yar'Adua decided that decision. Till today, they will not be able to put 1 single liter of oil.
Yeah.
And they are paying salaries. They are doing every time they do turnaround.
There was a year that Kaduna Refinery refined just 50 million liters of PMS. That is not even up to our one consumption for 1 day. And we have people there, they are taking salaries every time. Not the kind of salaries that you and I take. They are more.
We are going to strike if you sell this thing. We are not going to agree.
Did they not sell some national assets and they are doing well now? Benue Cement Company was sold to Dangote now.
Yep.
They sold it to him and some other cement companies like that.
Oh, definitely. National oil that was became coin oil, and they are doing very well.
They are doing well.
They could not even.
What are we talking about?
Their
National asset. They should not sell national asset. The point is,
Right.
we should be ashamed as a country that we are such a big oil producer. All of the money that people made from the Ukraine war, Saudi, they made a lot of money.
Too much money.
Petrobras,
even
made
Russia,
a lot of money. Everybody made money. Nigeria did not make money. Because rather than produce, we are simply, you go to a country like Saudi Arabia, they have refineries for export, dedicated to export. They are the biggest player in the industry. They have refineries for local production. They are very organized.
So I'm going to say that this is just a shame for me. I grew up at a time where the refineries were failing, Kaduna, the ones down south, just failing, and everyone was saying private refinery is the way to go, or some kind of JV, joint venture with the Nigerian government. This refinery was supposed to start production in March 2024. We're in July now, still not being used or utilized, and all this stuff is coming out. So it's just a shame. It's just a shame.
Can't we aspire to be like that? At independence, we were even better rated than Saudi Arabia.
A company run by state. It's a state-owned company.
Yes. So we can't even produce crude oil for the biggest refinery in Africa.
Now, let me quickly bring in. Some have said that perhaps the NNPCL chairman should have been removed from his chair because of the last time when Nigeria imported dirty fuel. That was 2 years ago, and then it affected vehicles and stuff like that.
I don't know whether it was the one there at that time.
It may not be the one.
It might not have been the one that was there at that time. You know, a lot of things have changed. But that's to tell you the rot in the system. They brought in dirty fuel. Somebody's duty was to check.
Contaminated. Not only contaminated.
That was, and they damage people's engines.
Yes.
You know? When people bring in dirty diesel and the rest of them, it has health implications. It can cause cancer. So we do not have the right regulatory framework to ensure that only the best is sent to our country. We do not have it. But when you see that the Dangote, the lab, that testing laboratory for testing crude, look at what is there, for God's sake. Look at some of the videos that I did. They are what's it called? Control room. You won't believe it. The level of investment. I said there are more than 50 bridges, concrete bridges within that complex. And for the first time, I saw a storage tank that can take 1,200,000 liters of petroleum product. When you see the video, it doesn't tell the story because it's so massive. But when you see the drone shot, it looks small.
Very small.
1.2 million liters. And it has enough storage capacity to accommodate all our fuel consumption for 28 days. It's not small investment. That look at those tanks.
So like you said, $20 billion, even if you adjust for inflation and everything else, $20 billion is a lot of money. And I mean, I hope they come to some kind of resolution on this one. It's a huge capital intensive project, and the refinery is still nowhere to producing refined crude oil and diesel and J1 jet fuel for planes. So I hope they get to some kind of, conclusion on this one to move forward and for the Nigerian populace to benefit, because that was the whole premise of the refinery, that eventually things will become cheaper and there will be no need to bring in fuel from abroad because the crude will be gotten from Nigeria, refined in Nigeria and sold within Nigeria. What I've read over the last couple of days is that there's no crude available to him, to Dangote refinery, sorry, and there has been challenges in sourcing crude from abroad, which was never the plan. Also, like I said earlier, reading reports from the agency responsible, saying that this refinery hasn't been licensed. Why hasn't it been licensed? What went wrong? Was it a supply chain issue? Was it a planning issue? Was there lack of feasibility studies? What has gone wrong? A friend said it's a fight between the monopoly cabal and the subsidy cabal, which I think is an interesting take on the whole matter. Let's just watch a little bit more and then I'll conclude on this one.
Look at them. It's not small investment. This is a man that needs to be encouraged.
Correct, yeah.
And we are trying to crush him. And some people are now saying, look at this. See, some of those buildings, some of those equipment are as high as a 40-story building. Yeah, that last.
People are saying, oh, good for him. Government has always been giving him concessions. They've always been doing this. They've always been doing that.
So
they are not looking at the bigger picture.
No, let others do what he's doing.
Some of them have gone to, there are people, he said something, he said there are probably some people who have more this thing than him, more cash than him. But they've gone to Dubai to buy houses.
Yes.
They've invested their stolen money in Dubai, buying houses. Some of them have kept money in those offshore accounts. When they die, it is those foreigners that will enjoy the money. Because these are thieves who do not even
let everybody do the kind of thing he's doing. It will be better for him.
Yes.
Imagine that.
Right. So I'm just going to end this one here. It's interesting to see what will happen. Like you can see on the ticker, federal government of Nigeria demands Dangote refineries diesel report, orders new tests. There's a test ongoing to see how clean that particular diesel is. There was some reports earlier that the diesel wasn't clean. Dangote refinery is going to come up with their own statement on this. It'll be interesting to see if the refinery is eventually being sold to NNPCL. If it's sold to NNPCL, what happened in the past when the federal government was running refineries? What was the success story? Isn't that the reason that people started to think in a different direction, to go through maybe a private or some kind of joint venture partnership with a private individual? What went wrong? Something has gone wrong. I can't piece it together. Guys, in the comments, if you know more than me on this, please feel free to put your comments in the comments section. Subscribe to my channel, like this video, share it to as many people as possible, and I'll see you in the next one.